My name is Cole NeSmith. I'm an artist. I'm a musician. I write some, do a bunch of different things. I love Orlando. It's a place I've called home for a really long time. And I believe that Orlando is a place where there's a lot brewing. We were back there talking, just Patrick Kahn and some of friends, and said there's a lot going on here, this being one of those events. And so tonight I just want to talk about how we continue to move forward in that. A little bit about me. These are some projects I've been involved with. Uncover the Colors, a creative company that I own that we create interactive experiences. Connected is a show that I produce with a couple friends. It's an interactive theatrical production. This is something called the Tree of Light, and right now I'm working on something called the Creative City Project. And so these are some of the things that I'm doing, and I started reading Malcolm Gladwell's book, Outliers, and in Outliers, he talks about the idea that you're an expert at something once you've done it for 10,000 hours, and I'm looking at my life and I'm thinking, I'm doing this and that and this and that, and I started thinking, are there things that I'm passionate about? Are there things that kind of connect all of the different mediums that I'm working in together? And I came to the conclusion that two of the things that kind of embody who I am and what I do are shifting paradigms and creating culture. And I think these things are two really important factors of us helping continue to make Orlando an amazing place to live. So I wanted to talk about what it means to shift paradigms and create culture. For us to shift paradigms, it means that we're helping people think about things in a new way. We're taking something that people have always thought about, and we're helping them think about it in a new way. Typically, we think about government as something that is really safe. We think about businesses who are answering to shareholders, and we think about artists and creative people who are shifting paradigms. And tonight, I want to say no matter where you work, whatever you do, you have the opportunity to be creative and shift paradigms. There's two ways we can approach this. We can walk around being cynics. We can look at things and call them broken because we don't like them, and we can see what's broken about today. But someone who's creative, no matter what field they work in, moves from being a cynic into being a creative when they say, I don't just see what's broken about today, I see what's beautiful about tomorrow. And for me, that's what's important about the Creative City. Yeah. That's what's important about the Creative City Project, because it says creative people can step into places where people live and completely change their experience with that place. And I think each of us in this room tonight can do that in whatever realm of influence we exist in. But creating culture and shifting paradigms takes risk. This is a picture of the Tree of Light. I put one up just a minute ago. And the Tree of Light was a huge lesson for me. We put this thing up downtown. The morning we put it up, one of the branches broke, and we had to go back to the drawing board. And it said to me, failure is having never taken the risk. Failure is not taking the risk and things not coming out the way we hoped. And so once we start taking risk, then we start creating culture. And creating culture is a series of concentric circles where it starts with my life and how I live and the responsibility I'm taking for who I am, and then it moves to my city, and it moves to my state, and it moves to my country. And so we start inward because responsibility locally leads to influence globally. People in Orlando, they say, I wish Orlando was this, I wish Orlando was that. The reality is Orlando is who we are. And so once we begin taking responsibility for our own lives and how we live, Orlando becomes a different place because responsibility locally leads to influence globally. Some tenets of creating culture. I was at a United Arts gathering recently, and as we were talking, these are just some things that popped into my head as I was hearing what people are saying. And I want to take the rest of my talk to give you some examples of people here in our city who are demonstrating these tenets of creating culture in some really amazing ways. Mark Baratelli started the Food Truck Bazaar, and Mark Baratelli embodies ownership. He believes that it's not going to happen because somebody else does it, and I'm not going to blame anybody else other than myself and if it doesn't happen. In each of our own lives, we get to take ownership of what we do and who we are. And the next one is generosity. Pat Green, amazing guy, doing something called the Corridor Project. And Pat believes in creativity. He believes in its power. And so he's willing to give his life away to see it happen. And he does it over and over and over again. And each of us have that same opportunity to make a contribution to our city and our surroundings. Unity is a huge lesson for us to learn. The people in our fields are not our competitors. The people in our fields are people that we can come alongside of and work together. Other artists are not my competitors. theirs. Once another artist succeeds, I succeed along with them. And as each of us succeed, we raise the bar together and all succeed together. Excellence is huge in whatever we're doing. There's a new bar that opened up recently on Orange Avenue just north of Washington called The Courtesy. It's an amazing place, and it's amazing because they do what they do with excellence. The drinks they make, the way they serve their customers, the way that they've done the inside of their building all embodies excellence. Risk, as we talked about before, is a huge component of creating culture. Chris Belt and the Accidental Music Festival, they could have just said, we'll create a music festival around rock music, pop music, classical music. But no, they said, there is some emerging music that we want to say, we're going to create a festival for this, and people can come and participate in it. Patrick Kahn, who's here tonight, runs Snap and embodies hard work. And I was talking to him this week, and I said, you work so hard to make Snap happen. He said, I love what I do. And what a beautiful thing that we would step into the things that we love to do, and we would do them well, and we would do them hard, and we would press into them, because that's what's going to make us successful. Lastly, participation. Terry Olson, Diana Portillo, two friends of mine, they're always at stuff. They're always contributing. They're always participating. They're in it with us. And we need to support one another by participating alongside of one another. And the reality of all of these principles, ownership, generosity, unity, excellence, risk, hard work, participation, they start with me, but then it bleeds over into our lives collectively. At the end of season 2 of The West Wing, President Bartlett has just made an announcement that is going to end in some ridicule of him. And there's this scene where he's walking down the hallway, and it starts to pan up, and you can see him walking down the hallway. And then you see these 12 people who are going to stand with him no matter what. Listen, if we take on ownership, generosity, unity, all of these principles, but we're walking alone, it doesn't matter. Love and community is the context in which all of this stuff needs to take place. So love one another, support one another, and let's make Orlando an amazing place to live.